Dateline, BeverageDaily.com. Strong start for Corona Premier, says Constellation Brands, maker of Corona Premier. Okay. Constellation Brands says the test launch of Corona Premier last spring, and this is in July of 2018, mind you, validated the interest of a light beer alternative, targeting men over 35 who want to trade up. Quote, Corona Premier offers the light beer experience men 35 plus have been waiting for. These guys have upgraded just about every brand in their life since college. Now it's time to upgrade their beer too. What does that even mean?
It doesn't mean anything. It sucks.
And this is according to John Alvarado, Vice President of Marketing for Corona, as Premier launched in March. All right. Today on Cold Cans, the boys are dipping into a more premium lifestyle.
We've upgraded, baby.
College. Today, Corona Premier.
I feel older.
Cheers, Joe.
Cheers. Cheers. I feel so much older and I've upgraded nearly everything in my life at this point.
Every
except
brand
my
in your
beer. Yeah, they didn't even phrase it like that. They could have said you've upgraded everything but your beer. Instead, these automatons said they've upgraded every brand, but not their beer brand. We're
Joe, I've got some sound effects.
Some bumpers.
And loaded up.
Hold on, let me do that joke again. Let me do it and then give me a good one. They couldn't even the automatons. They couldn't even say everything. They just every brand. Thank you.
Is that how you pronounce that word, Joe?
Automaton?
Not automaton?
Automaton? I pronounce it automaton.
I mean, automaton's more fun, but...
Is it automaton?
Oh, wow. If you do it on dictionary.com, it says automaton.
Oh.
Or no, automaton, it's saying.
Automaton. We're kind of both.
Yeah, we're kind of between it. Automaton.
Automaton.
I don't like that.
I don't think I've ever heard that word pronounced. I think I've only read it like in a book.
Sure.
And I read books, let me tell you.
Do. Hey, you had a good idea for a bit. Yeah. What books are you using? Hey, everyone's working from home. We're all doing video calls. We're recording our podcast from home.
You heard about this? We're all in this together.
That means that we have to stack our laptops, our webcams, our microphones at a proper level to reach our faces and our voices.
I totally do that.
So now what I'm curious about, Joe, is...
You're curious about the thing? You're curious about the thing about my bit?
What I'm curious about is what books do you have stacked underneath your mic and or laptop? Give it to us. What are your top books?
Well, let's just say they're not the books. They're the books that have been sitting on my shelf, but I haven't got any time to fucking read them. Give me a bumper.
Are you busy?
Give me a fucking...
Oh, that was
sitting on my shelf, but I don't have any time to read them. Okay, I'll tell you a couple of the books that I'm excited to read. American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I haven't read it yet. And...
Recently
have you read that?
Separated Neil Gaiman. Yes. No, I haven't.
Which reminds me, we should start a Patreon. And then the other one is Neuromancer by...
Now more than ever, we should start a Patreon.
Yes, now more than ever, we're all in this together, and we'd like our listeners to donate us with a Patreon. Neuromancer by William Gibson. Have you heard of it?
I have
Famous
heard of
sci-fi book. Kinda Dune. I got this from my future brother-in-law who wants me to read it. It's his favorite book. Shout out to Ted.
Ted Mancer. Ted Romancer.
Those are the only two I feel comfortable with sharing, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow. I hope you're always honest with me, Joe.
What books do you use to stack up the laptop?
Now, I'm a bit of a dummy, so I don't have books, but I have magazines. What do I have rolling here? Wired? Hey, I'm wired. Wired in. Never off the clock. Never logged out. What else? VinePair. check out their podcast. They've been rolling a lot of podcasts almost daily, I think, during quarantine, which is cool.
Wow.
GQ, hence my sharp looks and manly demeanor, and Adbusters.
Adbusters?
Adbusters is basically a like anti-advertising nihilist
What?
magazine. It's fun. It balances out the work I have to do every day.
Okay, wow. That's cool. I knew you were a big magazine guy. Right. I knew you were a
I'm
big
not.
magazine. You are.
Okay, I've told you about this. They send them to me free. You subscribe to one magazine one time in your life, and then there are 2 magazine publishers in the entire world.
Hearst.
So they
Hearst
have your
will have you
info.
for life.
They have your info, Condé Nast or Hearst, and they will send you every extra print that they make. So I get like Bass Quarterly, like Bass Fishing Quarterly, something about like motorbikes and motorcycles. It all comes here, and I throw them all away. What else am I going to do?
It's kind of cool, like how iconic the motorcycle magazine industry is. There's a bunch of motorcycle magazines. What do you read about every day? Let's talk about this today on another magazine. What? No, but dirt bike magazines. I feel like when I was a kid, I used to buy dirt bike magazines, and I'd look at it, and I guess there'd be pictures of dirt bikes.
Yeah, people doing cool stuff.
And what, like the
Instilling a
best
love of
mud?
You don't dirt bike in mud. They're not called mud bikes.
Oh, you can't give yourself bumpers.
I didn't do that. It automatically did it.
It can detect when your timing is spot
Got the
on.
zinger, yeah. That's new to Zencaster. I shouldn't have said the name. They're not paying us to
Yeah,
put that in.
it's not.
In fact, we're paying them to use the service, despite it being otherwise free for users during the quarantine time.
Are we still
That's
paying
true.
them?
I mean, it's a yearly subscription. They didn't offer a pause
Damn
feature.
it!
They got us by the old ball sack, Joe. And I don't say that lightly.
What about Men's Health? Don't you get Men's Health?
No, Men's Journal, I think.
You get Men's Health. Get 6-pack abs in 10 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, every man's magazine is like that. Like GQ has the same stuff. It's all just BS. And frankly, I don't abide it.
Wow. I don't. Hearst got me. I get Men's Health now. I don't know why or how.
Really?
Something with T-Mobile. I pay my cell phone bill and now I get Men's Health, and I don't know how to get out of it.
They'll get you. They'll get you. And that thing's just packed with ads. And then you buy something out of it.
It's like the best exercises you can do with dumbbells. And then I looked at it, and it's like, do bicep curls and put them up, push them up over your head, your gall dang head. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I could put them over my gall dang head. And then I started to think I should buy dumbbells in quarantine, but I haven't. There aren't any in stock.
You've been working out a lot though, Joe.
I have been. I've been doing some workouts. I don't know, what else are we gonna do here? My dog.
You said it.
My dog. Recently, we took him to the vet. My dog Douglas is getting older, and he had like some big like masses on his chest and by his ribs. And,
yeah, I didn't trust myself around him with seeing those masses on his chest.
What does that mean? Oh, I see.
They're boobs,
like his breasts, and you got horny for my dog. So that he had breasts and on his ribs, and then he also was snoring a lot, snoring every time he slept. So we took him into the vet, and the vet was like, "Hey, he's fat. He's 15 pounds overweight. He's 85 pounds, should be 70." So it'd be the equivalent of me putting on 75 pounds and then going in and being like, "Doc, I got all these. I got these growths around my waistline.
Pill I can take,
and I could barely breathe walking around." So he's on a workout program.
Nice.
That we're calling K90X. Isn't that fun?
That's good.
Yeah. So that means.
Sorry, give that to me again. What's it called?
K90X. Wow. and he runs up the stairs by the high school where we live. That's his program once a day. Yeah, that's what he say. You're off, and then he goes up the stairs.
That's
Hey,
good, and I'm glad Douglas is okay as well.
mm-hmm.
He's still got a lot of fight left in him.
He's old and fat, but he's got fight left in him. He's a good boy. How do you? Is this beer a good beer?
Yeah, we've hardly mentioned the beer since my Walter. By the way, I was Walter Cronkite in that opening. Walter
Yeah, we
Drunkite.
have.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Walter Drunkite.
should we do the bit then? Let's
We'll
just
do it
get
after
over
this.
with.
I'm already halfway through Corona Premier.
Me too.
Corona Premier. I picked it up once instead of regular Corona because I think it was cheaper or something, and it has 90 calories, 4% alcohol, and it's just I think meant to be a lighter Corona basically. And in looking around their whatever the press releases that whatever his name is have been releasing, it's basically just something to give them a competitive edge or a foot in with everyone going to like as light a beer as possible.
Right.
Because with Corona heavy, it's still on the, there's like some bitterness to it. And that's typically why you would have the lime juice in there to cut through that a little bit. This, I don't think you need a lime with. It's just so light and so drinkable. And I think it's meant to compete with other super light beers like Michelob Ultra and easy drinkers like hard seltzer.
Yep.
What do you think of it?
I just took another drink because after you talked about like the flavor of Corona versus this, you brought me one of these the other day, and I drank it and was like, "Holy shit, this is really good!" And both of us have a penchant for these kind of. If we're drinking a light beer, we might as well make it super light. Like, why try to introduce some shitty flavor if you're drinking a mass market beer? We might as well cut that all out. Just make it kind of a super smooth, easy drinker, and that's exactly what this is. We've had a few of these. You mentioned Michelob Ultra, and to me, this is such a better experience if you're trying to do semi-light calories, easy drinking, than the competitors that it's trying to go up against, like hard seltzer, which is just an awful experience, as I've talked about before. I don't like them, and this just works really well. Yeah, this is good in the sun. It's good as like an unwind. I don't know, long day at work, you're cracking a beer. You don't want to do something like an IPA. You just want a smooth, just beer to unwind for a half hour. This is really good. I really am impressed with Corona Premier. I'm a huge fan so far. I'm halfway through, and it's very good. So it gets my
the Glock bump.
It goes, the Glock guarantee that you will enjoy Corona Premier.
That's good. We got it. Wrap it up.
Let's do our fucking bit. I don't remember let's
do the bit.
What was the name?
CBS Evening News.
Okay, CBS Evening News.
Okay, here I'll hit the music. I think it's my show, right? You're the correspondent. Is that what we decided on?
Yes, the correspondent.
Correspondent. Yes.
Go ahead, do the show.
So there's some light music. There we go. Welcome to CBS Evening News. By the way, CBS stands for Craft Beer Special Evening News. I'm Walter Drunkite.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm Walter Drunkite, and my correspondent, Wolf Blatzer, is joining me today. Wolf, how are you doing?
Thanks, Walter. I'm Wolf Blatzer, in case that falls on deaf ears. It's like the beer Blatz. Instead of Wolf Blitzer.
Wolf, when's the last time?
Yes, Walter.
When's the last time you had Blatz? The last time I had Blatz, I was in the back of a pickup truck driving through rural Wisconsin. And
is this true?
A case of Blatz at my feet. How about you, Wolf?
That sounds like the perfect time to have a Blatz, Walter. Drunkite. But the last time I believe I had a Blatz was it was probably my bachelor party. Somebody, I think Andrew got Blatz, and we were having it in the Mirage suite that we were all in. We were drinking a case of Blatz. I don't think I've had it
for our listeners. Can you please give some character to this Andrew fella, who they may not be familiar with?
Andrew Crum, best man at my wedding. And this is me Wolf Blatzer talking. I don't know how to do a wolf.
Blatzer. It's
And
about the cadence, I think.
this is the cadence? Or is it something where I get a bunch of words out and I punctuate it like that? Is that it?
I think that's about right.
I think that's the cadence. Now I sound like Perd Hapley. Andrew Crum, he was my best man. He brought Blatz, and that was lovely. That's the last time I had Blatz, and I still thoroughly enjoy Blatz, and we should do it again as a new opportunity. Okay, let's get to the whole point of this whole bit is he had some news to read.
Hey,
Walter.
now this is my show.
Oh boy,
You take a step back, Wolf. Back.
back Wolf.
On the news, Corona beer.
On to news. That's always what Walter.
Dateline, NewYorkTimes.com, April 3rd, 2020. Corona beer to halt production amid coronavirus outbreak. That's the way it is, and that's how it is shall be.
That's how he signed off.
That's the way it is how he signed off.
And that's how it always shall be.
That was my little twist. Anyway, this was back from April, and
Walter, where did you go?
Mexico. It's enough. That's enough. Mexico had done a, essential businesses only thing, and so they had stopped production. But I believe this is out of date in that they are back producing now.
I read that Corona stopped production from March 30th to April 30th, and part of the reason was obviously this pandemic and the demand going down and restaurants closing. Yeah. And the other part is some weird public fear about the relationship between the name Corona and the virus, the coronavirus that we're going through right now.
But we questioned the legitimacy of those fears.
We have. I think there was a poll.
And the prevalence of those fears, I'm saying, not the fears themselves.
The prevalence of the fears, there was a poll cited by a CNN article, and this is my own shop as Wolf Blatzer, a poll that said 38% of beer drinkers surveyed, and there was something like 800 beer drinkers surveyed, 38% said they would never under any circumstances drink a Corona right now. And it's unclear whether it's 38% saying that in other times 0% would say that. So it's unclear whether that's a 38% increase or if there's 30-some% of people who, no matter what, would never drink a Corona beer because they don't fucking like it. So these polls are misleading, as are all polls. You said you're being anti-poll guy. You're done now. You done with polls, Nick?
I just fear that a lot of the simplicity with which a poll can be conducted on Twitter or even Facebook or whatever, and then people are citing that in articles. I don't know if those people are doing the due diligence it takes to have a representative poll.
You think people are not doing their due diligence online? Online journalists aren't always doing their diligence? I agree with you.
I just get frustrated with it because there's an obvious need for real data and basing decisions on that and stuff, but that gets watered down by stuff like this where it's just Darren Rovell did a Twitter poll of his followers as if that's a representative sample of society or something.
Yep. But that shit sells, man.
Frustrates me. Yeah, it does.
It's frustrating. You want to know what I've done? I've done this before over the years. I don't know if it'll stick, but that shit frustrates me too. And that and 8 million other things about the little communities.
Black Stripes.
Online culture. Yeah, let's launch into, first of all, then have we wrapped up the...
Oh, yeah, that's right. We need our exit music.
Well, no, Wolf is...
And that's how it is. Thank you, Wolf Blitzer. And I'm Walter Drunkite, so I'm getting more drunk as the show goes on.
Well, the fact that you had to explain it means it was a well-executed bit.
Thank you.
Thanks, Walter.
Thank you, Wolf. And that's how it is, and that's all it should be. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Oh, Walter changed. It was, that's how it is, and that's how it all should be. Before it was, that's how it is, and that's how it all should be, and that's how it always will be, I think.
I don't know.
All right. Glock Stripes, play the music.
Let's see.
Oh wow! Come on.
Got him. Hey, heard of dragging? That's what it is. That's how it always should be.
Our brains are mush.
Yeah, they're much. Losing my mind.
All right,
Down. I'm down and out.
run.
Here, this is Joe.
Let me
Box
tell
back.
you about my latest gripe, ladies and gentlemen. I've taken off all the apps off my phone. I've taken off Twitter and Facebook and Messenger and the New York Times and all the news apps. I've deleted every single one of them because, similar to what Nick was talking about, I'm fucking sick of filling every spare second of this quarantined existence with nonsense that people are trying to sell me. So now, every time I go to Twitter or go on the New York Times, I have to do the godforsaken thing of going to my computer, turning it on, and doing it from a browser. So then I set aside time for these type of activities. And then if I'm in my living room and I have 8 seconds while Netflix is loading, I don't feel like I'm compelled to open my phone and consume more content. So I have no apps on my phone because they're bad. And that is Glock's Gripes. As it is now, as it was in the beginning, and forever shall be. Amen. All right. So we got through a Glock's Gripes.
Well said, Joe.
What do you think, Nick? I'm serious about this. I
like what you're doing. I haven't gone so far as taking the apps off my phone. I've just been very deliberate about when I'm on my phone.
I can't do that. I'm too weak.
That's fair.
Even my email's gone now. I don't have email on my phone.
Nice.
When I want to check email, I gotta go to my computer.
Yes, Queen, we stand.
And that's what I needed to hear.
Too much.
Yeah, exactly. Our minds are mush because of this. It's not the quarantine.
That's right.
It's the quarantine.
It's the standing. It's the yes, Queenie.
Our minds are mush because of just the incredible, copious amounts of standing we've been doing together. You remember,
for those of our listeners who are still happy with their lives, Stan is to be a fan of, or to support zealously.
For those of us that have the luxury out there of not boring a hole through your brain via your cell phone.
I saw a video the other day of it was a dove in its nest sitting on its eggs, and a woodpecker was hungry. And it just drills a hole basically in the dove's head. It was very disturbing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't seen it. But that's what it makes me think of. That's the internet.
This sucks.
The woodpecker is the internet.
It's the internet. Hey, you should make a meme and post it on Twitter about the
We stand this meme.
I don't want to ever.
I can't even think of any other. There's so many things, that language that just doesn't make any sense in the real world.
I never, this is going to be the first and last time I say this sentence, and I never even want to hear it again.
Absolute
I never want to
joke.
hear I stand this meme ever again in my entire fucking life. That sucks. We can't do it anymore. This isn't sustainable. Living like this is not sustainable. We should be sitting on the grass and drinking a Corona Premier in the sun. And so we have to quit standing these queens and these kings and these memes. We have to quit standing them. And I don't want to care. I don't care about Michael Jordan anymore. I love Michael Jordan.
Distancing, okay? We can't all be in the grass at once. Social distancing. But you go off, King.
I don't want to see anything more about Michael Jordan. As much I love that documentary, and I don't care. I guess no, it's not that. I don't want to see any more discourse on Michael.
You're saying, hey, save The Last Dance. Save it.
Oh God.
Do you stand that joke?
No, I don't. I don't stand anything that we're doing right now. I don't like discourse. I'm done with it. I'm done with discourse. I don't want to hear the discourse on any subject.
That's because you're so happy with your life otherwise, Joe. What are all of us miserable sacks supposed to stand? We can't stand our
You
lives.
got to stop standing. You got to do whatever it takes, no matter what, to do whatever is antithetical to standing. If that means hating,
Antithetical.
then start hating. Do whatever you have to do. No, you're happy. Nick,
I'm not.
you live a blessed life.
Of course
Bless
I
up.
do.
And I stand for you. That's the only thing I stand for at this point is my friend Nick Patry. I stand.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Could have fooled me.
I don't.
But you go off, King.
I recently just obliterated a curb in the city, blew out 2 tires out of my Outback.
Yeah, it's too bad.
And it's a frightening thing, and you know what good friends came to my aid to help me out in that situation and help me deal with the tow truck and help me deal with the new car, the new tires. My good friends Nick and Eric, Nick Patry and Eric. Have we said his last name? Maybe we shouldn't. Those are the people who showed up. So I stand for them because they stand for me. Sucks.
Happy to do it, Joe. It's a bummer about your car.
I appreciate it though. It really meant a lot that
you've been canceled. You've been canceled though for introducing sincerity to this podcast and giving genuine thanks. You're canceled.
We can't do this anymore. We can't be online anymore.
Hey, if we can cancel upcoming cooking and recipe superstar Allison Roman of the New York Times, we can cancel anybody, Joe.
Because of an online feud with Chrissy Teigen, something I'm happy I know about.
Yeah.
I don't stand for either of them. Also, the only thing I stand for is my attention span is so fucking frayed and decayed that I gotta subscribe to Quibi because I can't pay attention to anything besides my phone.
Give me quick bites.
Give me a quick bite of a show. My bookshelves are filled with Cliff Notes because I can fill more content that way. I have 3,000 Cliff Notes on every book.
That's the problem with Quibi is what do you swipe and search on while you're watching Quibi shows like you would Netflix on the big screen?
That is true.
The problem with Quibi.
Quibi so in Netflix, or if you're watching Hulu, let's say you're watching The Last Dance, and it switches to that weird commercial where Kenny Mayne is they like made him younger, and they switch to that for the 10,000th time. You pop open your Quibi and you watch the Sansa Stark do her show where she's in the wilderness for 30 seconds.
Really?
You pause Quibi.
That's how quick the bites are?
You pause Quibi, though, and then you go back to Michael Jordan, and then you go back to Quibi, and then back to Michael Jordan. And before you know it, it's 2:30 in the morning. You've never been drunker. And you pass out in the couch you're in. You wake up the next day. You roll over. You turn your computer on. You work remotely for 2.5 hours. And then, baby, it's back to Quibi. I'm going through the whole Quibi library every day. Quibi this, Quibi that. And I say, hey, Nick says, what are you Quibiing today? I'll tell you what I Quibi. I Quibi that show, that Sansa Stark show. We can't live in this world, everyone.
Quibi is a verb as well?
Yeah, what do you Quibi? Hey, what do you Quibi? How do you Quibi? I Quibi standing on my head. I Quibi while I'm on the fucking John. I Quibi in the back.
Your language.
This sucks.
Watch your Quibbies. I'm going to take a Quibi out of your skull if you keep cursing like that, Joe. Maybe I'll go back to a Puritan way of life. I'm going to be a Quaker in response to the Quibi stand. I'm not going to curse. I'm going to drink alcohol. I'm not going to drink caffeine.
All the rest of you are out here with Quibi, and I'm here a Quaker. Huh?
Oh, no. No, I thought you were going to land that one, but it was bad.
I couldn't figure out how to land.
Quibi's a made-up word.
I know. I couldn't figure out how to land it. I like that they both started with Quibi. Like a Quibi Quaker is kind of fun. Like somebody who, what would a Quibi Quaker be? Somebody who
looks away whenever there's a woman on the Quibi show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
I was
even know what
thinking it's
Quakers
somebody
are.
who's given up everything, all the pleasures of life except for Quibi. It's the only thing that they
Oh,
have.
okay.
They don't have electricity. They don't drink alcohol. They just consume Quibi. What about TikTok? We haven't brought up TikTok on this.
I
TikTok,
am largely
Petrie.
unfamiliar. I'm largely unfamiliar. I don't have the app.
You do a
I mean,
dance.
I know it. I've seen them.
You do a dance. And
That is all that TikTok is dances.
you do the dance of a song you like. It's like you hear. So you play a new song with a dance.
Here's our segment. Joey explains the
Yeah,
latest tech trends.
Run the music. Run the music. I'll explain TikTok. So every song now is no longer music that you listen to, like this song. It's music like Crank That Soulja Boy. So every song now has to be Crank That Soulja Boy. Thank you. And so instead of like listening to a song and saying, "Man, that was an interesting dynamic," all the songs are, "Oh, Crank That Soulja Boy," and they're built for TikTok so that you can stand there and you crank that Soulja Boy in front of your TikTok, and then 30,000 people like it because they're all horny up there. They've never been hornier in their entire life, and they love watching you crank that Soulja Boy. And instead of us just doing that and having a lot of fun with friends on the recess grounds, we now have to post it so that we get likes in TikTok. And then one day, if you're discovered and you're at the height of your TikTok fame, you get promoted to Quibi, and you are a new Quibi star.
Joe,
That, my friends, is how TikTok and Quibi work together. No, it wasn't a bit.
Oh man, let's wrap this thing up. The beer's good. So this is an alternative. Is that right?
This would be a potential alternative. Let's take things back.
Hey, it's time to get real.
All right, what do we?
I didn't come here to make friends.
Walter Drunkite and Wolf Blatzer was pretty good, huh?
Yeah, that's fun. I like the drink puns
on famous news
bit on news anchors, yeah, or brews anchors, as it were.
Yeah, that's
man. Is Summer Shandy really the last episode we've done?
Yeah, it was like a month and a half ago.
It's been 6 weeks. Oh boy. All right, rankings. My internet's really slow. Let me do a couple minutes on the internet. So here I am, stuck at home. And I'm TikTok dancing while doing this, by the way. My theory is that internet service providers, or ISPs, are doing rolling blackouts of internet service. They don't have the bandwidth to support all the customers they have paying them for the internet. And so every couple of weeks, your block of folks gets blacked out of the internet so that the other folks on the other side of the world, the other side of the city, have internet. And I'm paying the same amount or more than them.
And you're entitled to your Quibi.
And I want to watch Quibi.
That's a good chunk. We have a couple of good chunks so far on this podcast, Nick. I'm trying to find I'm trying to find it. Give me a second.
So Corona Extra is 52 on our list. So we haven't done regular Corona, according to our rankings page.
Corona Extra is regular Corona.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. It's their flagship.
Oh, okay. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Well, it doesn't matter whether or not how you feel about it.
Anyway, it's 52 on our list, firmly in the mild cards.
So how does Malternative work? Is this, do we rip and replace, or do we slot it and we
slot it and replot it?
So it's a slot and replot system rather than rip and replace.
Oh man, this is all so meaningless.
I'm
Now
telling you,
more
we
than ever. Now more than ever, this is meaningless.
you know. Yeah. Now, more than ever, this is me.
Your life is meaningless. Spend your money.
Now more than ever, we'd like you to spend your money.
With us. We're in this together.
Yeah. Quibi. We're in this together. We should have a Quibi show, you and I.
We should. I'd stand that.
It sucks. All right.
I got a slight case of the giggles, I fear, Joe.
Oh, you fear it, huh?
All right. Let's go to Beer Advocate.
Let's go to the Beer Advocate.
So Corona Extra, the quote unquote flagship of the family of Corona, La Familia, if you will, has a 56 or awful. It is 4.6% alcohol.
Right.
And now Corona Premier, the beer, our alternative of the day, has a 66 or poor and a 4% ABV.
Okay.
Now, I'm in the pour me another on this one. I like this beer.
I'm firmly in the camp of pour me another.
Mm.
A comparable, though, a comp, if you will, in the industry. That's how we talk
Please.
about it. A comp is number 81 on our list.
No,
81 Michelob Ultra.
that's
So-
true. Why did we fade Michelob Ultra? I think I'm a Stan man when it comes to Michelob Ultra.
I'm not. I know you're a Stan man. I am also a Stan man. I'm not a hater. I think Michelob Ultra is
I don't even
3
know.
100s, 3 fires, and 2 of those faces that go sideways. I don't know why we faded it. I think it's time for a new opportunity. Maybe that one we do a workout with the beer.
Oh, that's a good idea.
No,
We
it's
get
not.
those helmets with the straws. We do a workout while we're sucking down
Oh.
Michelob.
Helmets with the straws would be a fun merch idea. Wouldn't
Yeah,
that be fun?
we're due for some new merch. Hey, now more than ever, folks,
We stand.
reach into that little piggy bank that's running dry because that $1,200 didn't last you 10, 12 weeks like Stephen Mnuchin said it would, and come buy a $55 plus shipping and handling beer helmet with straws with Cold Can's logo. It will be drop shipped from China. It may arrive in 6 to 8 weeks.
It may. And by the way, now more than ever, we stand with you. What do you think?
I like it.
I like it. All right, I got a fucking spot for it, and I'll tell you.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Wow.
I got
Okay.
a real good spot for it. Some would say controversial.
Oh, okay. I got a spot. Ready?
Let's 3, 2, 1 it.
Let's 3, 2, 1 it.
3,
3, 2,
2, 1.
1.
52.
47.
Ooh. Wow,
Your
52,
boot
47.
Corona Extra. Now that's a bit extra.
I went right ahead of Corona Extra, but right behind Blatz as Wolf Blatzer. You went right behind Montucky Cold Snack, right above
Montucky.
Hoogarden.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's right.
prefer
I know my
I prefer
business,
Blatz.
but you go off, King.
I prefer
You like it
Blatz
right before
or
Blatz.
Bush Blue
Yeah,
Moon.
that's fine. That's a good spot. That's a better spot.
So
What
either
do we boot
way, we boot Sierra Nevada Torpedo Extra IPA, right?
that? I like it. Yeah,
Beer
which has
Advocate
a
score of
92.
92. Outstanding. So the episode of Sierra Nevada Torpedo Extra IPA was September 1st, 2017. Very, very early.
Right.
The hoppiest IPA in Cold Can's history is reviewed. The hustle of life is examined. Oh, Jesus. Stand for my kings.
Do we stand behind that episode?
And the boys get into a fight, is what it says.
Ooh,
So apparently we got into an argument.
nice. I like that. Maybe we'll have to revisit that one.
Yeah, go back and listen to it, but it is falling from our rankings unless it itself gets a new opportunity when it's dead in Satan's walk-in cooler in hell.
That's true. Well, it's been a fun episode. It's been too long, Joe,
Yeah,
since
it has been too.
we've
It's
done
been
this
too long. We're gonna get back to it though. Every week, every Friday, you can expect us
all day, all night.
a new episode of Cold Cans, 1 a.m. on Friday. It drops exclusively on Quibi, and you can get all of your Cold Cans content, the triple C's, whenever you need it.
Jeffrey Katzenberg sends me a $1,200 check every minute on this Quibi contract.
Where our contract is $1,200 a minute, and instead of taking a lump sum, we demand the checks every minute. And so they're delivered as such.
Accountant has never been busier. This was fun to connect, Joe.
Ton of fun.
Be well in these crazy times. I hope
Yes.
now more than ever
Of course.
that you will fix your Venmo and send me some cash among friends. Now more than ever.
Hey, now more than ever, we have to band together. We have to stay apart virtually, like via Venmo or anything like that, as well as physically. We stay apart. So I'm not going to risk sending you any funds over Venmo for both of our good, really. Should we sign off? Or was that our sign off? Thanks, Walter. For Wolf Blatzer in the Situation Room. Couldn't think of anything. I thought maybe something would come. For Wolf Blatzer signing off on the Cold Cans podcast.
And that's the way it is, and that's how it's going to be for quite some time here until we have a competent government response to this issue, and that's how it is.